So, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome back to the Easy Talk. The first Easy Talk in a month and a half, man. A month and a half. That's a marriage for most people, man. A month and a half. That's a long time, man. But I don't know, man. It's good. It's good to be back. Good to be back with my brothers, and we're going to be talking about that game, man. It was like a cakewalk, man, against Chelsea. What happened? Chelsea never turned up. We were just playing against. I don't know who we were playing against, man. We might be talking about the Bayern Munich game, I think, but definitely we're going to be talking about the North London derby. We're going to play it against those guys just down the road. But let's get into the introductions. Brother Prosper, what's happening, brother? And he disappears.
No, I'm not having it. My turn.
All right, Ralph, how's it going, man?
I'm waiting for my turn to disappear.
How's you, Ralph? You all right, man?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm on my holes. So I'm just trying to get some time back for myself and get myself on an even kill before we kick off again for next month. So yeah, and my daughter is diligently working on her revisions. So yeah, we're good. We're in a good place.
Cool. Brother Isaac, man, we're all good.
Hello.
Yeah?
Good to be back and happy to be back and to talk about Arsenal. We are happy. Right now, we are very happy we can do the show. You remember the last time I was on the Insta?
I didn't want to say anything, man.
It was a hard one to do.
That was a tough one, man. Talking about Arsenal when Arsenal lose, you know what I mean? But anyway, good to see you, brother Isaac. And Prosper, are you with us, man?
Yes, I am. Hello, Canon family, Canon Folder family.
Good to have you back, brother. So,
same here.
Yes, all guns firing, man. All guns firing. What happened? What happened, Isaac, man? 5-0. The Havertz come back and shock Chelsea, man.
Chelsea did not turn up. We played Sheffield Tuesday. And we won. And I'm really glad we won, because we are having a bit of a debate over here. The Chelsea fan base was a bit of, we are going to kill your title hopes. And we slapped them. And I was very, very happy. I hope I could be able to share one of the clips where I was dancing. It was joy and singing up and down in the hall as they were very quiet, and they were just give us a few minutes, we are going to equalize, and they did not equalize. We did the high five. We high-fived them, and I'm happy that we won. And we put some respect to our name, because it has been them singing that London is blue, and I told them London is red, Chelsea is blue.
But Isaac, I don't know, man. Chelsea, man, you just don't know what you're going to get with Chelsea. Well, at least with Pochettino in charge. I mean, they were non-existent. Or was it because we were so good, we didn't give them a moment to breathe, Isaac?
Chelsea is a Cole Palmer team right now, as it stands. Cole Palmer is carrying them on his shoulders, and he's doing everything for them. But with Poch, you never know what you're getting, and they do not have a clear identity at the moment. You do not understand what they want to do, when they want to do it, and how they want to do it. Apparently, what they are doing against the big teams is just packing their midfield. But that did not work with us, with their high line and naive pressing. And we did leave them to have the ball, That is one of the key tactics Arteta used. He let them have the ball and not press them. Because if you press them, with them having 6 midfielders, they can play through you easily. But we let them have the ball with players who are not comfortable having the ball. And we won. And I'm still celebrating.
Ralph, Chelsea, man.
Well, I was a bit wary, to be honest, because in my original prediction, I said it might be a draw. But I was so glad that they proved me wrong, and I want Arsenal to prove me wrong. I want them to prove me wrong. So far, they haven't put a foot wrong, other than, of course, the last 2 matches, which have been Bayern and Aston Villa. But it just goes to show, when you're in championship form, confidence is everything. And you still got to put the team to the sword. You still got to put the opposition to the sword. So I was watching it. I saw Trossard's first goal, and in all honesty, we should have had at least 3 more goals on top of that total that we had there. We should have really taken them to the cleaners. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy that we won 5-0, and it's another clean sheet. I think as David Raya got the Golden Glove as well, because of the amount of clean sheets he's had this season.
Yeah, he's on his way. He's on his way.
So that what Arteta has done so far, we can question his tactics and his personnel, but so far we're in the driving seat. The only thing I have to say, I wasn't surprised about Sete the other night, because Brighton, they look like a shadow of themselves, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Pep spoke to him and said, like, you know what, lads, you don't really want to play too tough against us. We're chasing the Premiership here. Do you mind, putting a really indifferent performance? Because that Brighton, that was not the performance that I would expect. 4 goals. 4 goals. But anyway, focusing on us, good win, but it's all to do at the weekend. We're ramping up the pressure once again, because it's them down the road, and every match is, we've got to do our due diligence. We've got to keep on the momentum.
Yeah. Brother Prosper, I'm going to bring up one of your favorite players, man. Kai Havertz. Where was his performance against Bayern Munich, man? Where was his performance against Aston Villa?
Firstly, you haven't asked me how the Chelsea game went, so I'm going to start from there. Yes. Well, I expected that win, and so do I expect the Tottenham win, because Chelsea really hasn't shown up this season. I've spoken this several times this year, and it was a sweet victory to put 5 against Chelsea, considering the results they've been having against us over the years. They hit us 6-0 at some point, 4-0. So putting 5 on them was a sweet victory, and humiliating them, that's the sweetest part of it all. On the tactical side, I feel like really, as Ralph said, we should have put 3-4 more goals earlier, especially in the first half. Which brings me to the question you asked me, Kai Havertz. The point where we really need a natural center forward is just exactly what we experienced against Chelsea. Because hadn't Trossard scored that goal, that game would have turned out to be totally different from what it would have been, what it turned out to be. Especially if Chelsea had scored earlier, it would have turned out totally different, because Kai cannot seem to rise to the big games and score his first chance. He will always score that second goal, third goal, when there's no pressure, when the game is at ease. But when he has the first opportunity, he just goes in the shadows. So that's a clear indicator that we need a natural center forward.
But I don't think we're going to be getting. I think we spoke about this before. It's not going to happen. We're not going to get an out-and-out striker. You know, Arteta said, you know, the players we've scored the most goals in the Premier League with a bigger group of players. Is there any real need for a striker? I still believe that there is. There's still room for an out-and-out striker. But
yeah, so let me just finish up. Just to answer your question, like I said, the Bayern Munich game or Aston Villa game, we even saw it on the Chelsea game first half. I think the guy gets nervous with big occasions. Maybe it's an issue of nervousness, but there's something about a striker, a pure center forward. I mean, I always say this, give Edin Nketiah the same chances, same opportunities. He'll take them. Out of 2, he'll score 1 goal. Out of 3, he'll score 1 or 2 goals. But because Kai is not a natural center forward, he doesn't sniff the goal like a natural center forward would sniff it. So you always have those limitations to his game. Yeah, so for the Bayern Munich game, and it was just too big for him. And, you know, he's had a very, what can I say, up and down season. So in a big game like the Bayern Munich game, probably he was very nervous. He couldn't think. He wasn't himself in that game. Same as Aston Villa game. So, yeah.
May I put a question to you, Prosper? If Alex would. Okay, so you're saying about Eddie, if Eddie should have the same amount of chances as Kai Havertz should has been given. So when it comes to the summer, would you still want to keep Eddie?
That's a difficult question to answer because right now we don't have that center forward that can score us 20 goals per season.
But
we need that 20 goals per season center forward. Yeah. Then it depends because I look at Eddie as one of those center forwards who can bang us, if given that time on the pitch, he can bang us 10 to 15 goals every season, guaranteed. But he's not given the time. So why keep a player who you're not playing? Let him go elsewhere so that we make up that space for Arteta to get the players he likes, because at times it's a personal thing and we understand managers have their own players. Same as Emil Smith-Rowe. If you can't play a player, let the player go so that you bring in a fresh player, because we can't just be having those numbers that are not adding anything to the team, because you stay on the bench for almost the whole season. Even your form goes down. Yeah, so he just has to sell Eddie, sell Emil Smith-Rowe, get his kind of players so that we have diversity up there.
I'll throw the question back at you, Ralph. Then would you keep Eddie beyond next season?
I wouldn't. I've mentioned this on quite a few occasions that I don't see Eddie as the main guy. I know that we was at the end of last season, if you remember, we were saying how Arteta has to be ruthless in order to get to the point where we're expecting the honours, and I think he's proven that a little bit. He still keeps his favourites. When we was about four goals up against Chelsea, he still kept Saka on, and I was thinking that he should have taken Saka off after maybe 3 or 4. If he wants to keep Eddie after the 4th goal, the 5th goal, he could have put Eddie back. He could have put Eddie on. I'm pretty certain that Eddie potentially would have slotted that last chance to make it 6. But I don't see Eddie as the main guy. I'm sorry. He could probably come in the next 5 matches, and it's really crucial that we win our next set of matches, and he may end up putting maybe 1 or 2 goals. When the Prosper said about Kai being nervous, this is a Champions League winner, and he plays for Germany. So for me, nerves is not the. I don't find that as any evidence of that. I think it's just the fact that it's taken him this long to get rid of maybe some bad habits that he might have learned from Chelsea. You saw my man score 2, and he was celebrating like he knew lease of life. But like Prosper did mention, against Bayern and against Aston Villa, where was he? And if we're gonna start giving him all the plaudits, these are the big matches that he has to turn up in. And the more that he scores these goals, the less that I see of Eddie.
Brother Isaac, there is a comment in the live chat. I want to get your opinion on before we talk. We asked you the question about Eddie Nketiah. And the comment from the moderator for this Easy Talk says, if we had a real striker, we would have won the league by now. Is that true?
I'll say the league is the Premier League is a very hard league as it is at the moment. I will take an example of Liverpool, who have very lethal strikers, and yet they lost to Everton. In this league, you do not underestimate anyone. You underestimate Sheffield, and they give you a game. You underestimate Luton, and they give you a run for your life. You remember in the first leg, we had to fight so that we win over Luton, and we won 4-3. But I remember they almost gave us a shocker. This is a very hard league. Even Man City drew or have drawn to teams that we might say are smaller teams, but there's no smaller team in the Premier League. Because I remember when Liverpool won the league, it is Watford who broke the unbeaten run and were relegated. There's no smaller team in this league. So actually we have we do not have a proper striker, but the goals are distributed. I was reading somewhere that it is Arsenal who've had 5 players in double figures. It's only Arsenal who have 5 players in double figures at the moment. So that shows you we have a distribution of goals throughout the team. Well, and something that I read somewhere that if we went for a Haaland type of striker, we might end up having the Man City problem at the moment. Because there are times, if you mark out Haaland, they are not able to score goals. We might need a Hurricane type of striker, and that one might not come easy. Because we are looking at the Sporting Lisbon striker, and I believe he is valued at 100. It might cost us up to 100 to get us a proper striker in this moment and time. Or Arteta could go for a younger player who's not proven and then try to mold him, because he can get goals from the squad as it is. If you play Havertz in a number 8, you don't get goals from him. But if you play him as a false 9, you get goals from him. That is the reality as it stands. I don't think we will have won the league by now, because you realize the games that have cost us. Number 1 is the Fulham game at home, where he was experimenting Partey at the right back. That is one game I could say has cost us a goal. The other one is the Villa game, where he was experimenting playing all his attackers at the same time, and he had no plan B in his bench. He had everything or everyone he depended on that field that day. So there is no way he could have changed that game. So there are games I could say there are individual errors like the draw we got against Tottenham at home. There was an individual error, that is the Jorginho error, and there are individual errors. There are some where the gaffer tried to experiment, but I don't think we'll have won the game by now, the league by now as it is. It is a hard league, and we've got to respect our opponents. And as good as we are where we are at the moment.
Yeah. That's a good point, actually. Prosper, I know you spoke about Eddie Nketiah, but surely if Mikel Arteta really, really rated Eddie Nketiah, he surely would have had more game time by now.
Yes. Let's start it from the question that was asked in the forum. As for me, I believe if we had an all-out center forward, by now we would have been flying higher in the league. Why do I say so? When you have somebody, even if he doesn't score, but if you have a Haaland profile or Mbappe profile, somebody who just destabilizes that center back, you leave opportunities for all those guys. It opens up. There are some games which we drew in the first round that we were not supposed to draw. And some we lost. If we lost, like even the Aston Villa game, those centre backs were very comfortable because even Bayern, they see Haaland, Havertz there. They're not rattled. But put a proper centre forward there. A guy who bangs goals, that defense will be rattled. Even the defending midfielder will come back, leaving space for all these other guys to have room to take shots on the goal. Just the presence of that centre forward in the team. So to say we wouldn't have gone far, I think it would have given us a tactical advantage because, as Isaac says, this league is not easy. And so it's any other high top-tier league in European football. So if you can respect the league enough to say it's not easy, then it will be folly of you to go into the league without a centre forward. Then you're disrespecting a natural. Then you're disrespecting the league because you're going there not well equipped enough, knowing how tough it is to cross the line, but you're not going there experimenting. And then we went on experimenting even with the tactical side. So those things on both sides, they cost us a lot, but I would be more comfortable, which brings me back to the Eddie Nketiah scenario. As Ralph was saying, I don't see Eddie Nketiah as our main man, but we need those numbers. We don't want to have a Saka situation where there's only Saka on his position and we cannot substitute anyone. But because Eddie is not liked by the manager or favored or is not preferred by the manager, he doesn't give us that backup even from the main striker because he's not chosen. But if he was given the time on the pitch, he would be that backup whereby, okay, I think this guy has done a lot of running. This is another game. Let him rest. Let Eddie play. You see, he would bang you 10, 15 goals in a season. It's fine. He's coming in as second striker or third striker, just giving us those numbers to cross the line. But we really need a high-profile centre forward up there. When everything becomes, I give the example of Benzema. Remember Benzema, last time he won Real Madrid, the Champions League, he literally carried that team. When everyone is like, Madrid is done, then bang, Benzema comes up with something. We need such a guy up there.
Yeah. I think for me, it's unforgivable, the fact that as much as you look at how Aubameyang's career finished at Arsenal, we never replaced a striker like Aubameyang. somebody who can guarantee us 20 plus goals a season. I mean, how is it possible? You know, but you know, the question from Ashley in the live chat about if we had an out striker, we probably would have won the league. The question is, can Mikel Arteta get Arsenal over the line? I mean, does he have the experience now to get them over the line? Last season, we know nobody expected Arsenal to be so close to winning the Premier League, and we fell off. Whether it's through lack of a change in the squad, or if it really was the players were so exhausted, nobody expected us to come so close. But this time round, we are 3 points clear, I think, now at the top of the table.
No,
is Mikel Arteta able to get this team over the line, Prosper? Is he able to do that?
This season, I can't put it on Arteta right now, because technically, no, as in right now at this point in the league, in the season, technically City is on top. They still have a game in hand. So even if Arteta was to win all his games, if City wins all their games, then they've won the league. That's why I keep on saying on the group, it's not up to us now to win the league. It's up to City to bottle it up for us to win the league, because it was ours to win the league before the Aston Villa game. You see, that's why I kept on saying this game is a very important game, because once we drop, we're behind City. It becomes so difficult to dictate the outcomes. You see, so as it is right now, it's up to City. If City can somehow mess it up, then yes. Which brings me to Arteta. Is he able to make us cross the line? Well, every season is improving on himself, which is a good thing. But I kept on emphasizing on the group. If say Ralph is 10% better than me in everything on my average score, I have to do 10% plus 1 or plus 5 to be better than Ralph. But if every time Ralph is improving by say 2% and I'm improving by 8, Ralph will always be better than me. Why? Because I have to do that 10 to catch up with him first, then add on again to go over him. And now if you look at Arsenal, everybody is happy and joyful. Oh, Arteta's done this. We've done so many goals this season. We've done so many what. But are we better than the team that's leading us? We all come back to, no, we're still second. We're still second. So what do we have to do to beat City or to beat Liverpool next season, or whichever big team? Because it seems our opponents gear up so much. I'm listening. I'm following posts where I'm hearing Zidane is coming to either Liverpool, Tunchu is coming to Chelsea. So this season might have been easier for us to win the league. Next season will be very tough, because these teams are first decision makers. These other teams like Chelsea, they don't debate on a center forward for 2 seasons. They don't debate on anything. If they want change, they impact it. With the right manager, they'll be a hard team to beat again. You see, I can even hear Mourinho is rumored to be coming back to Chelsea. So if they get it right this time around, and if Zidane goes to Liverpool, it will be a very difficult or totally difficult league again. You see? So when we talk about Arteta, it's just these things. Okay, fine. He's given me something to have hope on. To let him go now would be quite a tough pill to swallow, because there were no ultimatums from what I gather from the Arsenal side. He's been here from 2019. 2019, if the Arsenal board really wanted a winning manager, we had Zidane was open, he had no job, and a few others. They would have picked somebody with the pedigree, with the trophies to show and something to show. But they picked on Arteta for their own reasons, the project and whatever. And now he's going we're in his 5th year. He's running his 5th year. So what I would like to see is if they are giving him another year, because him winning the title all depends on also what the board demands of him. If there isn't that much pressure from right now to tell him, dude, we want the title, he's not going to buy the right players. He's going to buy the experimental players, which will leave us short again next season. But if he's told your job hangs on the balance, you got to get this right, then we won't see those experiments, tactical experiments or favoritism. He'll play the team on a professional level. If you're not on form or you're injured, you stay on the bench. I can't risk anymore. He'll play and he'll make sure each position has a backup. But if you just leave it open, we're signing you a contract, as long as you get us to top 4, there isn't much pressure on him to win. So those are the things that I see.
So Ralph, you're like 10% better than Prosper. But Prosper's closing the gap on you, man.
I appreciate the sentiment. When Prosper was coming up with his observations, I was pondering actually, just to go back before we go forward onto the next segment. With Eddie and Jesus, we gave Eddie the number 14 shirt, and that gave him a lot of. It set him up as a challenge. You know, we know what that number 14 shirt meant, so we thought giving him the shirt would maybe elevate him and made him a guy, the guy to score and to improve. Then we had Jesus come into the team, and with the amount of money that we spent, him and Shevchenko, he was the guy. But now the only thing that I see of Jesus is a person that just runs a lot and it's not clinical. It's not clinical enough for what he came into the team for. If we have to start being ruthless, as we keep on asking our manager or our coach should be ruthless. We have to see things as they are. And this season, all we can do is win our matches. I don't like asking for favors, because it kind of like devalues the team morale. You know, if your team's doing what they can do and they're doing everything that they can, then just keep on that momentum. You know, let everybody else worry about us. You know, Ralph, we've got a lot of candidates.
Ralph, sorry to interrupt you, but the example about Gabriel Jesus, from my memory, he's never scored more than 20 goals. Before, when he was playing for Man City, I think he probably scored maybe 17 goals, but he was never a 20-plus goal striker. So, you know, that is down to recruitment and doing your homework and your due diligence. The player has never scored more than 20 goals per season, but yet we buy a player who can't guarantee you more than 20 goals a season. And now you can see this season, I don't think he scored a goal in 11 games, 11, 12 games. Yeah. And he's kind of a frustrated figure. He wants to score a goal, but he's never going to get you more than 20 goals a season. Sorry, Ralph.
No, so again, great observation, great point. So it begs to differ on the question. You know, what was the intent of getting him? Did we get him because Pep knew that as well, and Pep is very, very demanding and got who he got, and they won the Premiership last season because of who they got. And we came close with what we got when we was asking for him to be clinical. During those times, he was injured and trying to get back into form. So we have to start being really, really, take the rose-tinted glasses off for a moment and see things for what they are. It's great that the team's on a run. It's fantastic. It's great that everybody's scoring. When I saw Benny Blanco scored that goal, that fifth goal, and he didn't know how he did it. I was thinking, it's good that we score goals like that, because quite often it happens to us. So it's good that it happens. But if we're going to go into next season, and again with Prosper's observations, if Zinedine Zidane was to come to Liverpool, and Mourinho goes to another top, he won't go any lower than a top 4 team, You still got Unai Emery, who's still guiding his team to European glory potentially. Next season, it's going to be a very. I'm not sure if Ten Hag is going to be in his. Going to be if he'll be there for next season. Potentially, it may be if they continue on the FA Cup run. But for next season, it's always going to be difficult, and I'll always get a bit concerned when the dust settles, when the season's over. How prepared are we going into the following season? Are we going to target a striker? Are we going to target a midfield maestro? Are we going to have a replacement for Saka? Because Saka can't be doing it every season. He can't go into his 6th, 7th season trying to carry the team again in certain matches. And I've seen Saka drop off a bit as well. And I think it's just down to us overplaying him. We don't want to burn this young man out. Where's the strength on the bench? We're talking about Emma Smith-Rowe being on equal terms with Saka when they first came in. And now Emma Smith-Rowe just does a guest appearance. So you can't be thinking, is he going to be here for next season as well? Are we gonna ship him off? Who's going to replace these players? So that was one of the. It sounds like I'm bringing the situation down, but I don't mean to. I'm trying to increase on my 10%, thanks to Prosper. The other part I wanted to mention is that great teams have great defenses, solid midfields, and a great striker, and we are thereabouts. Like our coach, he's thereabouts. He's getting the mixture just right. When it's off, it's really off, but when he's on it, he's on it. And now we need the consistency and discipline to see out the remaining matches, and then going into next season, how are we going to set our stall? Are we going to have that striker? Are we going to have those key areas that need to be filled up? I love Shevchenko, but I don't see him as a defender. I don't see him as a left side defender. I'd rather stick him. If he played next to me and I see the amount of mistakes that he's making, it will frustrate me. I would rather he play up the pitch. Because at least then, if he loses the ball, there's still maybe 2 or 3 players in front that can try and get it back. But if he's losing it in the key area, i.e. defence, and I'm trying to cover, it means that he's compromised my position. So there's a lot of thinking that needs to be done for next season. But let's see how we go with this season. Let's see how our coach can start, getting this team to ramp up again.
Brother Isaac, does Mikel Arteta get a new contract extension in your eyes? Is he worthy of a new contract extension?
I believe he's given us a lot at the moment. Actually, more than we did expect. And the reason as to why we are feeling that we should have won the league by now is because Arteta gave us so much hope, or he gave us so much than we expected. It's like when you come home every day and you have a sweet for your little one. The day you'll miss bringing the sweet home is the day your little one will ask questions. And as the fan base, we are the little ones. Because last season, he was so close to winning the league. But last season, he lost to City, home and away. The difference this season, he's taken 4 points off City. But he also made a few mistakes. Pep also makes a few mistakes when he overthinks in his tactics. But the difference is he knows how to win his last games, his final games. We could still win all our remaining 4 games and still not win the league. That is if City win all their remaining 6 games. That is, they have 5, not 6. All their remaining 5 games. That is the reality, the sad reality. in this league, we've had the best in Pep and Klopp, and he's competing with them after rebuilding his squad. I was watching the interviews today, and Ange was like, Arsenal is the blueprint of every club in rebuilding. That what Arteta has done is what every other manager will want to do in rebuilding their teams. And I believe he has earned his contract. He's rebuilt the squad. He's brought back that connection between the fan base and the club, because I believe that fan base was disconnected from the club. The team itself was in shambles, but he's built something, and you cannot just take it off his hands that, okay, you've built something, now we are taking it off your hands and look for someone
but why not?
win a league.
Why not? Why not? I mean, it's interesting when you give a manager stroke head coach time, and when you support him with finances, it's interesting. You can see what happens. And I don't want to hark on what happened with Unai Emery. Only 18 months, was not given the time, was not supported, was not given any financial backing. But it's interesting when you give a manager time, what can happen? But at the end of the day, Isaac, we still want to see the golden chalice, the major honors. Again, nobody remembers who came second or third, only winners. We are in a results-based business. You can't just be so holistic and say, well, okay, the first 2 seasons we finished 8th, third season 5th. Oh, we just missed the Premier League. This time we might make it, but we might not make it. We are in a results-based business, Isaac. We care about trophies.
It's true, we are in a result-based business. But this league is a hard one.
Oh, of course.
It's a hard one. It's a hard one.
Yeah.
It's a hard one. And given the fact that he's done so much, and I believe he could win the league. He could potentially, even though it is in City's hands. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We are capable of winning the remaining 4. We are very, very capable of winning those 4.
But we're also
I don't want to rattle Raf here, because Raf was saying I'm really trying to navigate around Raf so that he does not shoot me down. You know, winning your games is okay, but praying for your competitor to draw even one game is another thing. The only thing that remains is just win your games.
Yeah.
And let Pep take care of its own. If it is our time to win, surely we will win.
Yeah.
We've waited for a very long time. We have indeed. And we've suffered for a very long time. And at this moment, because the manager has been backed, I believe more than any other manager in the Arsenal era, has been given the finances more than Unai. Unai, even the media did not do him any good. The media was on his case every other time.
Mm-hmm.
The pressure was huge. And the famous good evening phrase kept coming up.
Yeah.
Even when they understood that his English was not that good. And but for this one, for Arteta, I want to believe he survived an extra season because of the COVID period. That saved him. The fan base not being there, that saved him in a way. But we are competing at the moment. It is unfortunate that he's playing against the best. And the best seems to be winning every other day. Actually, City are unbeaten in the league. Is a long streak that we haven't seen. Apart from actually they are unbeaten because they went out in the penalties to Real Madrid. If we do not count them going out because of the penalties, I believe it is over 23 unbeaten. Of course, there are some draws in there.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen that. We do not really see that. But if they do slip with a draw somewhere in there, and I want Arteta to really win on Sunday, if he wins on Sunday, it will be a statement win. That will be the biggest win for me this season. If he wins on Sunday away to Tottenham, that one will be the biggest win for me. Leave alone the Sheffield Tuesday game.
But you know, Isaac, it seems like now every game is a must-win game. You know, Prosper said to me,
it is.
Alex, the Aston Villa game will be a watershed moment. It's so crucial for Arsenal this season, and we lost it. But now we're saying Chelsea. But now we're saying Tottenham. All the games are must-win games. We're going to win all of them.
We should win, and we are capable of winning all of them because we have kept 6 consecutive clean sheets away from home. Wow, that is some history we've made. If we keep a 7th one away from home, Raya could potentially win the Golden Glove.
Yeah,
and the thing of saying that the best defense wins you leagues, I don't know if we have the best, if it is going to win us this league this time.
Prosper, I can see you burst to say something, man.
No, I'm just following with the points raised, and I'm looking at especially when you mentioned the Aston Villa game. Why I said the Aston Villa game is a critical one is because when we're talking about which game is a must-win, we're talking about a game that would be so tough to win. And Aston Villa has been on form like this season.
Yeah.
If you look at Chelsea, look at Tottenham Hotspurs. Today they have a good day. Tomorrow they just nowhere. So you're like, okay, these guys come with a good plan, good strategy, be patient. We're going to get 3 points off them. So for the Chelsea game, I already knew we're going to bang 3 over them. Tottenham, I'm already predicting a 3-1. But Aston Villa, he was like, the way these guys are playing and we failed to beat them, this is a must. Because if we cross this one, every other game will have that confidence because they are not as good. But as it is this season, that was that game. The rest, Tottenham, Manchester United, Chelsea, they're not threats to me. If we lose those games, that's the frustrating part because you can see they are broken teams this season. So when you lose, that's when you ask, guys, how could we lose to such a broken team? You know?
Yeah. Okay, goodness. Here is a comment in the live chat again from our moderator. It says, wait until the end of next season for the extension. If we refuses to get a striker and we win nothing again, then it's time to move on. Ralph, you want to move on?
Well, I remember your conversation with James, and James said, if he doesn't win anything this season, then he should go. It's very, very difficult to want to oust a manager. I don't like to do it. I did put my hand up and said that how during that time when Unai Emery was there, I was very impatient, and I said, he needs to go. but our loss was Aston Villa's gain. And all managers want is time to establish who they need to keep, who they need to get rid of, the wage structure, the agents, the relationship between the board, the relationship between the fans, more importantly, the relationship between the players. And sometimes you may have to put an arm around the player, and sometimes you may need to put a rocket up them to get them to move. So it's very, very challenging. In my awareness of the way that we was kind of spoilt at Arsenal when we had Arsenal, and then when everything started, going wrong for him, we knew that it was time for him to go. We didn't give the same kind of respect to Unai Emery, and for that I'm continually apologetic. But we have to move on. We have to learn. I think maybe somewhere in the upper echelons of the board, they've realised that, you can't not go in the world of football and not see past players, past managers, seeing how well they flourish when the pressure is not so great, or maybe even greater in certain cases, and they do what they were born to do. And with Unai Emery, you can see when Aston Villa came, we haven't beat them home or away. So that in itself shows, the level of work and the level of trust that his players got in him and what he's got in them. That being said, I think that maybe some of the board are just realizing, what, we have to stick with Arteta. Yeah, we was all saying he's a coach. He doesn't have the experience. He's come in. There's no business or no sport that you can come into at the top level without any kind of reputation or any kind of proof that you can do the job. Every job, it requires you 3 months, just to see how you're getting on. And at the end of the 3 months, if you're good, you're good. If you're not, you're out. In sport, it's even more, it's a harsh, hard world. But we put on, Arsenal put their money where their mouth is with Arteta. And what I have seen, not just the first season, but particularly last season, is the way he has galvanized the fans. He has galvanized, and the players have responded to him. And those that didn't respond to him, they were no longer around. So that's another tick in his book, so to speak. The only thing he's missing, he's got to win a trophy. And I'm going to stick my neck out again. I said it was a draw for Chelsea. I think we may draw against them down the road. I don't want us to draw. I want us to beat them. But the thing with them down the road is that they are hell-bent on making sure that, if we beat them, anyone wearing a red shirt around the White Sea will have to be police escorted. That's the only way you're going to get in and get out. The way you're going to get out from that toilet is to be police escorted. That's for us to beat them. We have to beat them and beat them convincingly. The last time we was in that kind of position, I remember Rob Holding lost his head because the fans were on him. He did one mistake, and that guy there, he scored. So they drew at our ground. I was thinking that if there's ever a time we need to beat them, we should have beaten them at our ground. So for us, it's points dropped. Now we're going to their ground. And they'll put up everything. It'd be the ref. We can't be asking for favors. I said this before, and I say it again. Don't worry about VAR. Don't worry about the fans. Don't worry about the ref. Don't worry about the ball boy. Don't worry about if a satellite lands in the middle of the pitch and when you shoot on goal. Anything. All you got to do is put the ball in the back of the net as many times as possible, because you can bet pound for dollar that they will be thinking that they have to stop they use everything. They'll be coming at us. I've viewed them. They are more dangerous than who we beat the other night and who we've got coming. Because not wanting to look too far forward, Man United, I don't rate them, but they've still got that edge, and it's at their ground again as well.
Yeah.
So match for match, I think it would be a draw. But for Arteta, he's got to win something, because come next season, the vultures will be flying.
Well, at least Ralph, Ashley reckons you should be the manager. Mad Dog Ralph for manager.
So I've increased my percent, have I?
So just kind of wrap up this latest Easy Talk, the first in a month and a half. So you've gone for a 3-1 win for Arsenal, Prosper, yeah?
Yes, I've gone for a 3-1 win. I mean, I don't see Tottenham have lost something. They've lost their shape, their structure of game. So today they might wake up on a good day. I'm very much hoping Sunday won't be a good day for them. But I don't see it with the way we've been playing. We're a more structured team now. I don't see us struggling with Tottenham. Honestly, we're going to win that game easily. That's if we take the chances we usually have, because it's one thing to create all those openings and then we don't make them count. Yeah. Then that would be on us. Not that Tottenham was a hard team to beat, but it would be on us wasting chances as usual.
Brother Isaac for manager.
No. the amount of abuse the managers go through, I don't want to do that. You lose one game and the fan base is on your neck now. So I'll go for a 2-1 win for Arsenal. I'll want us to keep a clean sheet, but this team is scoring goals. But we can outscore them.
Yeah.
Because they are also shipping goals. You know, Alex, this Arsenal team nowadays, it gives you some. You could say we could win 2-0, we could win 3-0, we could win 2-1. If they turn up at their best, they'll give you a clean sheet. You remember we are the first team that stopped Brighton from scoring, and we won 3-0. They were scoring in each and every game at home, and we stopped them from scoring. Let me go with my 2-1. Oh, my head says 2-1. Let me stick with my instinct. 2-1.
All right. Okay. Isaac for manager, man. Anyway, do you know what we have actually come to an end on this this Easy Talk, the first in a month and a half, and it was good to share almost an hour with my brothers Isaac, Prosper, and of course my real brother Ralph. Sorry, guys, that's it. I want to thank each and every one of you for sharing or giving us your time. Prosper, man, when you're coming to London, man.
Give me a year. I got so many projects here.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Isaac, when you coming to London, man?
I have my passport ready.
We're gonna roll out the red carpet, man, for you. All right, Ralph, man. Nice one, Ralph. Yeah.
Nice one. Thanks. Cool. Many thanks.
So that's it. The next time you will see me will be on an instant post-game reaction. The Spuds versus Arsenal. Prosper goes for a 3-1. My brother goes for a win. And brother Isaac is still thinking 2-1, 1-2, 2-1. It's going to be a win for Arsenal. Anyway, guys, thank you so very much. Thank you for everyone who came into the live chat. But this over here